All right, let's take a look at question number 17 here. For this problem, there's a diagram that shows the intersection of two lines at point P. So here's point P, the intersection of two lines. And point P has the coordinates 1, k. So this blue dot has the coordinates 1, k. And the x-intercept of line PQ. Now line PQ is this green line right here. This is line PQ. And that line has an x-intercept of -5. So this blue dot right here has the coordinates -5, 0. Okay, so it's very important that you read the problem and break the information down into the diagram. The slope of the line segment PR, so PR is this yellow line here, that slope has twice the slope of line segment PQ. Okay, so if PQ is this green line, then what we're trying to say is that the yellow line has a slope that has double in value. Its slope is double in value of the green line. Okay, let me erase those again. And then it also states that the area of the triangle is 9. So the area of this triangle right here has an area of 9. And our goal is that we need to find the y-intercept of PR. Okay, so we need to find this value right here, that y-intercept. Okay, so there's a lot going on in this particular problem. Okay, so this is step number 1. What I would do is I would take a look at PQ, this yellow line, because you have two coordinates, right? You're given this coordinate here in red and this coordinate here in red, right? You're given the x-intercept and that intersection point. So I would find the slope of line PQ. So PQ, let's go ahead and find that slope. Okay, so it's going to be y2 minus y1. So here is my y2 value, which is k. So k minus y1, which is 0. So k minus 0 divided by x2, which is 1 minus -5. So 1 minus -5 is going to be plus 5. Okay, so if I go ahead and find the line, the slope of that yellow line, k minus 0 is going to be k, and 1 plus 5 is going to be 6. All right, so the slope of line PQ is going to be k over 6. Okay, very good. Just erase all that, and let me just erase this now. Okay, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to rewrite this up here. So the slope of PQ is going to be k over 6. I'm going to box that. Okay, after that, what we need to do now is take a look at this line PR. All right, so now we need to find the slope of PR. And how do I do that? If I go back to the question, it literally states that the slope of the line segment PR is twice the slope of PQ. Okay, so that blue line is double the value of the slope of line PQ. So we know that the slope of PQ is k over 6. So I need to times that by 2, right? So it is twice the slope, right? So 2 times that. And we do this fraction operation stuff all the time in Math 10. So 2 divided by 6 is 1/3. So it's really k over 3. All right, so the slope of PR is k over 3. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, so what we're going to do next is I'm going to take a look at that line PR a little bit more closely. So here's PR, and what we're going to do next is we're going to ask ourselves, can I find the coordinates of this purple dot? So right now I don't know what that x coordinate is, so maybe I'll call that x, but the y value there is going to be 0. Okay, now I have the point 1, k, and I also have the point x, 0. The question is, are we able to make some kind of connection between those 2 points? And we also know that between those 2 points, the slope is k over 3, right? All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to, once again, create a slope for PR, and that's going to be y2 minus y1. So that's going to be k minus y1, which is 0. So k minus 0 divided by 1 minus x. All right, so we know that slope is going to equal to the slope that we just found, which is k over 3, right? So let's put k over 3 over here. And on the right hand side, let's go ahead and solve this. I mean, k minus 0 is going to be k, and on the bottom I just have 1 minus x. So now we're back into the classic, what do I do when I have terms on the denominator? Well, we just crisscross here. So k times 3 is going to be 3k. So I have a 3k here. And if I crisscross over here, the k is going to be over here on the left, and the 1 minus k I can leave in brackets as 1 minus x. All right, after that, I can distribute this, which is going to be k minus kx equals to 3k. And let's go ahead and now solve for this. Let's just take this part right here, this negative kx, and bring that to the other side. If I bring that to the other side, that becomes positive kx, and then this k remains there. And if I remove or move this to the other side, that becomes negative 3k. Okay, so let's go ahead and keep on simplifying this. K minus 3k is going to be negative 2k, and this will be just kx. And then if your algebra skills are decent enough, you should be comfortable that this k and this k will cancel off, and what that means is x equals to negative 2. All right, so we do all that work to find the value of x, which is negative 2. All right, going back to this diagram right here, we just found that this value here is negative 2, right? All right, so let's go ahead and see if we can put all the pieces of the puzzle together here now. Let me erase this. Okay, so this point right here is going to be negative 2, comma 0. Okay, and I believe we were also given that this point right here is 1, comma k. Okay, so that's really good, because if you take a look at this base now, the distance between like negative 5 and negative 2, that distance is really just 3, right? So the distance between negative 5 and negative 2, that total distance is just 3, right? And that's important because if I take a look at that triangle here, what we're trying to say is that this base right here is going to be 3. And I know that this height right here, this height, if you think about it, this height right here is really just k, right? So the height here is k. Now that's really important because the question literally tells you that the area of the triangle is going to be 9. All right, so the area of a triangle is 9 in this case. So how do I apply that here? Well, it's going to be base times height divided by 2 equals to 9. All right, so what is the base? What is this base? Well, that's 3. What is the height? The height is k. So 3 times k divided by 2 equals to 9. Okay, now we're going to solve this again. This 2 would go up there. So 9 times 2 is going to be 18. And 3 times k is going to be 3k. Divide both sides by 3 and you get k equals to 6. So the k value is equal to 6. So what we're trying to say here is that if I go back to this diagram here, let me just erase all this. This point right here is really 1, comma 6 because the k value was equal to 6, right? And we know that this point right here is the point negative 2, comma 0. Okay, so our last point, the last part of this puzzle is that we need to find this y-intercept, right? So what we can do now is we've got to find the slope of this line right here, right? And we don't need to do the whole y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, and that's just because we know the slope of that line is k over 3, right? And the k value was 6, so 6 over 3 means the slope has a value of 2. All right, so this slope here, the slope of that line equals to 2. All right, so if I had to just kind of put some finishing touches on this particular problem now, this question is quite long and brutal here. Let's go ahead and write out y equals to mx plus b. I know the slope is 2, so y equals to 2x plus b. And then finally, I would just use this coordinate here, negative 2, comma 0 for your x and your y. So if I do that, the y value is 0 equals to 2 times negative 2 plus b. 0 equals to negative 4 plus b. And that means your y-intercept has a value of 4. Okay, so 4 is your final answer for that particular problem. Okay, let's move on to the very last question here. Suppose f is a real function satisfying all that, and what we need to do is I need to find f of 21. Okay, not too bad. For this problem here, you really need to understand what this means. F of 1 equals to 4. If you've done the homework questions on section 5.5, what this really means is the x value is 1 and the y value is 4. All right, so this is your x value and that's your y value. That means anytime you see an x in the problem, which I'm highlighting here in red, all those x's get changed to a value of 1. All right, so if I had to recopy this line over here, which I'll do, f of bracket x plus f of x equals to 4 times f of x. All right, what we're trying to say here is every single one of these x's will be replaced with the value of 1. All right, so this x will now become 1. All right, so this x will now become 1. And this x over here will now become a 1. Okay, and if I continue here, this is f of bracket 1 plus, now ask yourself, what is f of 1 equal to? Well, f of 1 is equal to 4, right? So f of 1 is 4, so this will be just 1 plus 4, close the bracket, equals to 4 times. And once again, what's the value of f of 1? Well, f of 1 is 4, right? So this will be 4 times 4. Okay, so once we do that, 4 times 4 is 16, and this will be f of, well, 1 plus 4 is going to be 5. Okay, so what we just established right here is f of 5 equals to 16. So what that really means is, in terms of a point, this is really 5 comma 16. Okay, so now if you think about this problem now, we have 2 points. We have 5 comma 16, and we also have the point 1 comma 4. So let me just rewrite the points here, 1 comma 4, and we have the point 5 comma 16. Our goal is I need to find the value of f of 21. Okay, so what we're going to do here now is let's find the equation of a line using these 2 points, right? So let's go ahead and find the slope first. So that'll be 16 minus 4 all over 5 minus 1. And 16 minus 4 is going to be 12. And 5 minus 1 is going to be 4. 12 divided by 4 is going to be 3. Okay, so if I go ahead and write my y equals to mx plus b, this is y equals to 3x plus b. And then I can use the point 1 comma 4. So that means x is 1 and y is 4. So y will now become 4 equals to 3 times 1 plus b. This is very similar to question number 17 now. So this is 4, and this will be 3, and that'll be plus b. And b would equal to 1. All right, so the equation of the line is actually y equals to 3x plus 1. All right, now our job is that we need to find f of 21. So what does that mean? What that means is anytime you see an x, this x gets replaced with the 21. So this will be 3 times 21 plus 1. 3 times 21 is 63, I believe, and then plus 1 is 64. Okay, so that's it for that particular question. I really wouldn't attempt this question unless you really understand how to do section 5.5, because this is really testing your understanding of function notation. So make sure you finish the homework from section 5.5 first.